So sentimental, not sentimental, no. Romantic, not disgusting yet. Darling, I'm down and lonely. When with a fortunate only. I've been looking for something else. Chocolate, let's go slowly. Discouraged, distant from other interests. On your favorite weekend, and in this love for gentlemen only. That's with a fortunate only. No, I gotta be someone else. These days it comes and goes. A list of mania. Think less but see it grow. Like a ride, oh. Not easily offended. Not hard to let it go. From a mess to the masses. A list of mania. Think less but see it grow. Like a ride, oh. Not easily offended. Not hard to let it go. From a mess to the masses. Follow misguided, stand still. Discuss, discouraged. On this precious weekend, and in this love for gentlemen only. Wealthiest gentlemen only. But now that you're lonely, chocolate, let's go slowly. Discouraged, we'll burn the pictures instead. When it's all over, we can barely discuss for 1 minute only. Not with a fortunate only. Thought it could have been something else. These days it comes and goes. A list of mania. Think less but see it grow. Like a ride, oh. Not easily offended. Not hard to let it go. From a mess to the masses. A list of mania. Think less but see it grow. Like a ride, oh. Not easily offended. Not hard to let it go. From a mess to the masses. This is showtime, this is showtime, this is showtime. This is showtime, this is showtime, this is showtime. Time to show it up, time to show it up, it's time to show it up. Time to show it up, time to show it up, it's time to show it up. From a mess to the masses, a list of mania. Think less but see it grow. Like a ride, oh. Discuss. All the boys who called their mothers on that day were no tough bunch, but they had the nerve to go and say that all your secrets were drowned with the pioneers who were flooded from this town. They packed their bags only moments too late, with the pounding waves crashing up against the weakened water gates. 'Cause dire times call for dire faces. So lovely dancer, call a dancer. Straight out places in the night, we're running barefoot, you and I. Dead lovers salivate, broken hearts tonight. And all the kids who cut their knees on that old schoolyard fence were holding out for posterity and self-defense. We beat them down again. There's no fun in playing cowboys for pretend. We showed them what the backs of our hands are for. The divide is clear in the coming year. The rich will take the poor. 'Cause dire times call for dire faces. So lovely dancer, call a dancer, trade our places. In the night we're running barefoot, you and I. It's 20 seconds till the last call. Going hey, a lie now, you know it's easy. Like we did it all summer long. And I'll be anything you ask and more. Going hey, it's not a miracle we need it. And no, I wouldn't let you think so. Fold it, fold it, fold it, fold it. Fold it, fold it, fold it, fold it. Fold it, fold it, fold it, fold it. Fold it, fold it, fold it, fold it.
What's up, y'all? What's happening? Okay, let's get into it. All right, here we go. Here we go. Yo, yo, yo. All right, let me go ahead and start screen sharing. Welcome everyone. Welcome to Tradetopia Live. Let's have a good time. All right, here. Let's see it. Screen share. Boom. Good to go. Well, we've seen an epic push from NASDAQ from yesterday. Jesus. I talked about a shakeout setup, you know, taking some buy positions over here, and I got tagged out break even like right there, and then this thing squeezed for another hour or so before it erupted. So we had the mitigation from yesterday. My entry was lower, so I didn't get tagged in right away, and then we saw demand over here, pullback, and then the secondary entry. And then, wow, what a move. Dow definitely not anywhere near as bullish. So the buys, setups, I'm going to be more focused on buys on Dow. We'll see what price action looks like. Maybe we get some selling opportunities with Dow Jones. See if we get above, London session highs, maybe just trade towards these highs over here and see if we can get into any shorts. But yeah, we'll dive into a few things here. But welcome everyone. What's up? I'm gonna go ahead. I got the stream started, and then I had to take care of a couple things. So running a few minutes behind, unfortunately, today. And then our oil sell yesterday, I mean, we got a pretty good drop. I guess your profit depended on the quality of your exit, because then it started to absolutely rip on oil. So, yeah, we got a nice sell. The idea went to about a 2R, 3R and 2R, just depending on the trade that you took, depending on your goals. I definitely had more ambitious goals with my sell. So, I ended up only getting stop profit on this setup. How'd you guys end up doing with these plays from yesterday? All right, let's see here. So let me go ahead and share this. What's up, everyone? Nah, you guys are here. You guys are ready to roll. Don't forget to like the stream, get some more exposure here to kick this off. All right. Session disconnected. All right, we're live. Boom. So let's see what our best setups are going to be. Remember, I also talked about, and I'm going to pull this up here real quick. This one, I guess this post never went through. Huh. I didn't see that. Well, yeah, here was a post I was sharing about my buy, which is what I was talking about here. So, yeah, I took this buy yesterday, I was already in it at 12:40 Central, which is here. This is the Dow, the NASDAQ buy I was telling you guys. So, as you can see, right over here, this is after the big sweep and the market came back down. So, that was right there. Right. No, hold on. Let's see. One of these drops. I think it was coming into this zone here. Yeah, right here. And then it came back down, tagged me out, stop break even, went a little lower, squeezed, and then ripped. But yesterday, let's go ahead and refresh this. That's fine. Yesterday, here, I had a couple ideas for you. So one of them was NZD. And it was buying in this zone over here. And we actually got some good movement over here. So we have the market got into this zone and mitigated. So we already saw the reversal out of this. And for those of you that have studied my entry model in the classroom section, so you can learn more about that here in the Smart Money Playbook in the free course. This is all free. So you guys here, let me make sure you guys have this here. Just gonna pop out the chat. All right, where's this chat? All right, so here's the link to the community, free community. Pull up, learn something. All right, let me say what's up to everyone though. What's up? What up, Edwin? Tarantino, what's good? Jose Navarrete, you have my dad's name. That's wild. Rodrigo, Mateo, morning. What's up, Amy? Carlos, who ate up on oil? Nice. Corey, looks like you did. I got NQ cooking up. Okay, nice. How you doing today, Mike? Good to be here. What's going on, everyone? Netherlands in here. Edgar, Omar, Sen. Sudamérica aquí en la casa. ¿Qué dicen, chicos? What's up? Lindsay and Seth. Luis, hello. Brandon. Morning, Nance. Joe, we got Daniel in here. Primo, ¿qué tal? What's good, my G? What's up, Ray? I had the same shakeout on NAS, marked up. I forgot to set an alarm. It happens, bro. Hey, Mike, on Sunday you connected a Zoom call to talk about psychology/mentality. Yes, you were on that call. You asked me, you did a Q&A. You were on that call. So, long story short, guys, we did get the mitigation. So we already saw the reversal out of this zone. And basically the way I look at this is we see a sell-off right here. So the market, certain amounts of money pours into the market intentionally with the intent of pushing price down, liquidating buyers, trapping retail sellers. We then see a continuation. So when the market comes back here, if we expect a reversal, then my perspective is that we're going to get an exchange of at least however we sold off, we should see to the upside. So this is why we get a nice reversal here. You see about almost right around 20 pips. So there is an exchange of money from the sells to the buys, which is why you get this type of movement. Now, when the market comes back, I'm no longer looking for a buy. We already saw the money exchange from sellers to buyers, so I'm not really in the market to get in here again. I'm out. Yeah. So there's nothing to do here. Trade's over. What's more in my perspective now, my focus is the mitigation from this sell-off here. So I do think we can see another buying opportunity further down with NZD. So yeah, the next target is, and it doesn't have to be NZD futures. I'm looking at all futures in general. So we'll get back into this, but we have Australian that's also has this buying zone over here. So these look very similar. Now the pound has been way more bearish. Canadian futures have been way more bearish. Euro futures. So everything else is dropping a bit more aggressively. So I'm not really looking to long any of those. So it's either between NZD and Australian that have these buys. But right now, let's put our focus back into indices and see what we can do here. So let me go ahead and close this out. You guys are going to find out what this is about later. Right. So now remember, this week is slammed with high impact news. Like absolutely slammed. So today we have New York Open in 3 minutes, and then we have a US dollar news event in about 33 minutes. So we'll get some volatility today, and then tomorrow. Oh yeah, tomorrow we get news events before New York Open, 2 batches of them. New York Open, then we get interest rates. We'll see what they say. Right now, forecasted to keep it the same. Will we see them finally drop? We'll see. And then we have the press conference. So basically 5 moments of intentional volatility just delivering on the market. All right. So with all that, what we have to look at here is look at how Dow right off the rip. ¿Qué tal, Juan? Sup, Leon? Linda? Adrian? What's good, my G? All right. Yeah, cross pairs and things like that I'll look at later. I'll look at metals too. I think we'll have an opportunity potentially today or tomorrow. So to get into indices again, we talked about how things could go yesterday. So I was saying how Dow is dropping the most. It was more bearish. So from yesterday's stream, which remember they're all recorded, so you guys can always go back and pick those apart, like learn as much as you can. And I was talking about how Dow was more bearish. So if we could find sells on Dow, if we go up and can get some distribution, some setups, then great. Otherwise, the buys we were looking for with NASDAQ. And here, right over here, we have, here was Friday's lows. So I wouldn't be surprised, despite, me getting a sweep of liquidity and we clear out tons of buyers last week, about halfway through. I mean, we in reality still have more liquidity over here. So I don't think this is over by any means. I think we're going to target these at some point. And yesterday, we have just so much consolidation. So if we go higher to start today's session with Dow Jones, I do think we could end up getting a nice little reversal. So here we have London's highs. Right there. And London high. So this can easily get targeted to get swept up. We can see something similar happen. Oh, ¿qué tal, José? Cualquier cosa solo preguntas aquí y te lo explico. So basically, yeah, I think we may be able to see the market clear out liquidity, liquidez por aquí. So take some of this out. which would then take out yesterday's liquidity as well. And we'll kind of see how high we go. So whether we play just up into here or if we're going to go even higher. If that is the case, what we'd want to see is the market lose momentum, create demand, and then see a short. So something like this would be a focus. This is a possibility. Obviously, we want to see how everything rolls out first. So we're going to respond. We're just going to respond to what the market shows us. And the reason I'm looking for sells on Dow is because, I mean, look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ has been bullish, so bullish. Alcista. Mientras Dow más bajista. So even right now, I mean, we'll split clearing this. All right, so look at this. Even right now, what are we seeing? They're moving in opposite directions just to start this off. So NASDAQ pushing even higher. Dow chilling. So these are moving in opposite directions. What can this do for us? You want to be a bit more patient. Let the market get to your zones. Don't force it. All right. So, for example, one of the things we're looking for here, relative, you have NASDAQ yesterday push down, clear out buyers. So you see it right there. This clears out tons of buyers. The market then moves sideways, squeezes, and then finally goes crazy. So this right here, where the market sells off, vemos esta venta aquí, intencional, captura de liquidez. This is where the market can definitely come back to, specifically because we have tons of imbalance over here as well. So the market can look to rebalance this zone, close out the sell, and then go for higher levels. So this for sure looks like a good opportunity, in my opinion. And this would be still following along with the trend, continuing going with the majority of the direction. So that's where we're at right now with Dow, with NASDAQ on the right side. I'm not really looking to take any positions yet. Now, could we have buys again, even all the way up here? Is that an idea? It is possible. Now, look at this. We saw during London session, this was the low of London session over here. And then we had sideways movement. So a whole bunch of liquidity start building up across the board. The market then makes a low, so it gets below all of this. And then we start to see the continuation. So are we going to see a possible reversal again from up here? Well, I would only go for something like this if we continue to get bullish structure. Like, we really want this to happen in order for any sort of buying opportunities here. So you need more demand. That would be absolutely necessary. Right. Now with Dow, we saw the spike down. So clearly this is, taking out any sort of retail buys. At the moment, we're also seeing the creation, it looks like, of just more equal lows. So this is New York Open now. Instantly the market spiked up, then came crashing down. I wouldn't imagine Dow is gonna really keep crashing until we get above this, because right now, if you think about it, anybody that was in Dow Jones and was selling from yesterday, resistance, again, just the same levels, all the sellers are in profit right now. These are just easy, selling out of resistance, equal highs, etc. So that's a lot of orders that predictably are sitting right here. I would not be surprised if the market clears these. And I'm not going to sell just because it gets above there. I want us to get proof that the market comes up to these zones. And honestly, maybe it sells out of here or something. But I want us to get proof that it liquidates retail sellers. And then I want us to lose that momentum. So when we get up to this, if the market stays up here, then that's creating a demand, bullish structure. If the market comes up and loses that momentum and then stays bearish, that's showing us that the only reason price got to these levels was to liquidate sellers, to trap buyers, and that can give us more proof for sells. So we want that. Now it may go higher though. Like it doesn't necessarily have to just do this. Like we may just keep pushing higher and higher and higher until then we get to sell. Because there is this over here where we saw the market sweep the high, crash down, mitigate this move right here, and then just continue to go down. So we might see a reversal out of here somewhere. This isn't like a sell for me. Like I wouldn't just sell right there, but this is an area where I wouldn't be surprised if we do start to see some reversals. So here's what I have right now for indices. I'd love, because we're seeing such a difference in price action, you can tell Dow is nowhere near as bullish as NASDAQ, so Dow sells make more sense. And if NQ just keeps trading bullish, then despite us being at, yes, basically all-time highs, you could still have it continue to roll. And I think I talked about this yesterday. I was like, look, when it comes to investing, you hear, don't buy at the highs. But in reality, when you're day trading and when you're running with momentum specifically, it's basically, it's not even just buy low, it's just buy lower. So even in this, it's all relative. If we're looking for good opportunities, it's not like we need to take this forever. And yes, even though we're trading so high historically, we're just here to take a certain risk to a certain reward. So, all we're here to really do is, all right, here's which isn't crazy on NQ, but here's, a 10, 12 point stop. And then, all right, you take this for 30, 40, 50 points, you're done. And it's just about having that kind of awareness. So, yeah, I mean, we're seeing, at least as of now, we're now about 10 minutes of trading above the previous high. So the longer we have demand above this high, the more proof that the intent here is to establish just a bullish structure. Meanwhile, look at how much Dow is struggling to go higher. Dow here is fighting off the bulls with its life. So, yeah, my belief with this idea is still that we get above these highs, and then at that point we look for something. So, okay, while all this is happening, I'm going to have alerts here set up. So if we start approaching the London highs and start getting into Monday's London session, then I'll have that alert set up. If we come back to this previous high on NASDAQ over here, so if we get back over here, then I'll know too. So I'll have that all here set in stone. What we can do now is, let's go look at some of the things. Just a quick update with stocks in general. We're seeing Spotify drops 10% on the open, which is fantastic. I'm looking to get into Spotify at some point. I'm feeling under 600. That would be clutch. Here we had a huge sell-off. The market rallied, came back, mitigated. So I want to just get into this imbalance over here. And then from here, let it rip. But yeah, this has been an absolute just monster. I remember this is one of the more recently painful investments that never happened for me. I wanted an entry in this imbalance in 2023, and then we never pulled back. So I wanted an entry at around like under 100, and then here my ass is still waiting. So several years later, yeah, sadness. So now we're priced at 640. So nice little 8x, but it's okay. All right. I'm not going to go too much into stocks right now. I just wanted to give a couple updates on some key setups. Nike's still pushing, so I took some off the table, but we have long-term projections with that. Chewy still kind of just sitting there in the 30s, so breaking a little bit lower. This is my first dollar cost average zone, and then I'll dollar cost average in here in a bit. Intel is one that I have running right now, but let's see where is what I'm looking for here. Where are we at? All right, if those of you are looking for a pick, I have ENPH here. This is one that I'm looking to keep adding to and letting rip. This is more on the solar side, but that's about it. Oh, here we go. And then another one that I want to be positioned into here soon is Webull. So waiting for this to drop below 14, and then we'll be in there. But all right, anyways, besides the point, looking at majors. So all the the Australian, the pound, the euro. Like I said earlier, I'm looking for buys, but I want this to drop more. So I'm looking more on the 1 hour structure. This is kind of to play off of the 17th of July. So here's kind of what I'm looking at. Meanwhile, possible trades with majors as well would then shift over to the selling side of things. So we saw, for example, the pound spike up here and then keep working its way down. Same thing here during a London session, spikes up and drops. I'm not necessarily looking for sells quite yet. They are starting to load up though. So once we get some clear structure, we could see some sells. There are some that are way higher in the range. So we're kind of getting pretty far away from these zones, but eventually I think we can get back to selling. So you have last week, Thursday and Friday, we had some nice sweeps to the upside before the market drops. So we could see some sells loading up for later this week. I'll keep an eye on this, but nothing really time sensitive at the moment, which will now lead me to metals. So let's talk about gold and let's talk about silver. So gold right now, I haven't called out any ideas on this yet. Market's been moving sideways, some decent bounces. Yesterday I talked about how silver is leading a bit more the bullish move. So silver just kind of feels and is demonstrating a better chance for longs versus gold. Gold right now still building liquidity. And then on the higher time frames, it's got this zone that, in my opinion, like everything else is noise until the market gets to here. and that'd be playing out of June 29th. So you got a nice little sweep, captura liquidez here, and then we see more buildup of liquidity anyways. So I think we can drop into this zone before seeing a reversal on the higher time frame here. If you go to the daily, I think it's very easy to see here. So yeah, here we have these lows, clears weeks worth of liquidity, rebalances, mitigates, continues. So I think we're basically seeing something similar here. Get back to this area to then go and rebalance up here. So this could be a possible, honestly, a possible like 150 or 1,500 pips swing. But it'll take time. All right, NQ here, dropping back down to here. Okay, what does this mean exactly? Excuse me. Excuse me. So, look at the market. Comes flying up, and then immediately melts down. So, what does this start to show us? Is this giving us signs that, oh, just buy? Oh, it's just a pullback, just buy. Or is there a different story with something like this? This is where we let the market show us its true intention. So, market now, what does it do? And it's already rebalanced before. So it's not like it's rebalancing this. So for about 7, 8, 9 minutes, it's up here. Trading above the high. Great. Then it quickly comes right back down. So is this showing us like, oh yeah, like the market definitely wants, it's a very competitive price at 23,630 and 40 and 50. Not really. It showed us that yes, there were buys of it, and then no, there's really not that same amount of demand. As just as fast as it goes up, it comes right back down. For me, this is showing us that this could become more of a selling environment. That's how I'm perceiving this right now. We're also seeing Dow started to drop as well. So, now they're kind of on the same page with price action. NASDAQ losing a lot more momentum faster, for sure. So, what I talked about, this is potentially becoming a shakeout setup. We'll see exactly how it unfolds, but we just might end up getting, and we'll see how it relates to Dow. But if we continue to trade bearish or maybe even break below, then this may become a selling opportunity where the market is, showing us that it's only bearish for the most part. And then later on, we may spike up, but just to make lower highs. This is just to lure in buyers one last time and then do its thing. So something like this is definitely a possibility. As you guys saw, we definitely saw a difference. We saw Dow struggling to break through. So that's why we were looking for a different type of opportunity. I wanted to short Dow, but I wanted it to clear more liquidity first. So with the type of price action that we're seeing now, I'm not fully convinced quite yet. And so, yeah, we're going to let the market give us more and more detail. We've broken below these lows already. So let's see what kind of proof we get. Let's see how the market starts to move. So if we can kind of stay more bearish, then maybe we have a sell on our hands with Dow or with NQ. So we'll see here. this might be the beginning of distribution. You know, if we're zooming out, clearly we took out tons and tons of sellers, lured in tons of buyers. So this could be the beginning of a mitigation setup. So we'll see. I'm going to play some alert. Well, if we start getting pullbacks, then we can come back to this. What I could see happening is we may see a shift in price action a little bit, where the market starts to, maybe Dow starts to pull back a bit faster and higher. And let's say, for example, we end up getting something like this, where Dow does clear these highs, but when it's doing this, Nasdaq is slower to come up, then maybe we get to sell on Nasdaq. So we'll see. Right now, we rebalanced, played into London session, lost a lot of momentum real quick. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Right? There might be something different going on here. We might honestly look at how the market clears these lows, rebalances, and then instantly it gets eaten up. There's a chance, we don't know yet, but on the other side of this, if the market does this and it comes back up and it then just keeps trading within this range again, then we might end up having a buy scenario. So we just want proof. That's it. First we get the signs. First we see, oh, okay, the market is, targeting liquidity. It's either pursuing sell side liquidity, buy side liquidity, and then it's giving us more direction. So right now, we're seeing a very different movement with Nas versus Dow. At the moment, Nasdaq is showing us that the move to the downside here, breaking this low, just because it went below the previous low does not mean it's now bearish. That's what is taught, but that's not what that means. This here, as of right now, showed us that the demand for this price was very short-lived. Instantly, price doesn't want to be here anymore. So positions are opening much higher. There's more demand up here versus over here. So more orders want to open up here. These are more competitive at the moment. So if we keep getting something like this, we might see something like this. And then a quick little dip down, that's the sign to then, take this higher. So we'll stay on the lookout for something like this. That's at least small time frame. If you're looking to really get more information, then yeah, we gotta just give it time. Gotta give it time. All right, give me a second, guys. Okay. So look at that. Starting to form. It's starting to give. So the move down. And I'm going to just explain this on here. Give you guys clarity. So this is the capture of liquidity. I guess I could make this bigger font over here. And then when the market comes right back up, this shows us. So let's see, price coming right back up starts to show signs of little demand at the lows. now the question becomes, right now, price has been trading up here for a few minutes, I don't know, 3-4 minutes. Is this enough time? Is this enough time to prove, oh yeah, we're super bullish, like this is going to keep going higher? I don't love it, to be honest. It could play out, but a few minutes like that, yeah, that's not really giving us the most proof. It is some proof, but it's definitely not the most. So I've seen these play out plenty of times, but I won't say that it's giving us like the absolute most data. Let's see. It looks like it's already bouncing out of the zone. So yeah, I mean, it might play out. Let's see. A nice little bounce right away. Look at that. So, yeah, as you guys can see, I'm not taking the idea off the rip or anything. I'm not really feeling it like that. I think it came up and down really quickly, so maybe it plays out. All right, hold on, let me see. I don't think I'm logged in yet. Give me a second. All right, so, and there it goes. I was a minute too late. So what I was gonna say is, when we have this kind of hesitation and we're looking to identify, was it enough? Did we trade here for long enough in order for this buy to be valid? Well, when I'm in between, like, okay, is this enough demand? Then I'll usually risk less. And yeah, so this, and this is the cost of not being prepared, because I already should have been logged in here, and that cost me not taking a small position on this NASDAQ play, because that's what I wanted to do here. So maybe we're able to position ourselves in again. It's a possibility. But yeah, this right here would have been the idea. And this is a tight stop. Even with less risk reward, you can do some damage. Because it's a tight stop. 15 points. Like, collect that, take it just to this order block, and you're good to go. So, yeah. I guess now what are we seeing? More proof that the market still has a bullish demand over here. So if we keep trading like this, maybe on a pullback into here again, look for another entry and let it ride. I think really I wouldn't want to stay in this for too long. Like this, not that I'm looking to sell right here, but I do think some intraday exits would play out. So anyways, right now we saw the market sweep liquidity, comes right back up. So we see there was more demand over here. Briefly, it comes down to this level and then comes right back up again. So we are seeing more demand for NASDAQ at this higher level. Dow is still more on the bearish side of things. So honestly, I still think we can get another pullback and then see this play out of here or go even higher. So something like this could still be a possibility. Honestly, I'm just going to mark up in here because this will make more sense. And, wow, this is what I wanted to do. So let's see. All right, literally right there is where I wanted to get this trade in. So let's see if we can get into this here. I want to take about 10 contracts. All right, so I'm taking my position here. Oh, no. Oh, thank God. So here you can see we're in this imbalance. Look at the difference too between Dow and Q. So now we're rebalancing in here. The risk is established. And then I'm not looking to target too much. Just play into the zone right over here. And honestly, we can probably hold this out a little bit longer. Taking a look at Dow, because I still think Dow can pursue. the London highs. So right now we're rebalancing here, and then targeting this level, I think is going to be kind of the move. So here we go. All right, so let's see if this is going to rebalance and stay. Is this enough proof that the demand is too low down here for the market to push? Is this luring in sellers? Is that the intention behind this move before it rallies? That's what we're about to find out. My stops are below this, where the market wicked down and was incentivizing there. So here's where my stop is. And then now let's see if the market goes in the right direction. What I don't love at the moment is that now it's kind of looking like Dow has a bit more of the lead on the move to the upside. Either way, higher time frames, NASDAQ is much more bullish. So at this point, just kind of let it ride. Yeah, let's see how this unfolds. Okay, so while that's happening, let me go back and kind of give my take on metals, because that's what we were doing before the market was before I got that alert. So that was gold. We had some consolidation going, and then just so you guys are familiar, my stop with this setup. Oh, look at that! Now we're going in opposite directions again. Classic. Now Dow wants to go higher and NAS wants to go lower. See now how like the price action's flipped a little bit. Let's see if NASDAQ's just wanted to get into this imbalance, or if it's just going to clear it all. Let's see. Oh, I got logged out. What the heck? All right, 1 second. Yo, look at this. Look at this. Buy a thread. Rip. Chat. Am I cooked? That's the question. Am I cooked? Wow. So the ideal entry really was here, right? And we were just a little bit late to the party. Market then pushed, which then the sellers that were lured in here, especially with this move here, these were taken out. Okay. So when that happens, then we see the market come down again right into this level. And then is this going to clear out now all of these sellers that were lured in, or are we already just going to go lower? Which, honestly, either one can go. So right now, I don't have the highest hopes for this. The shakeout setup really was based on the market clearing liquidity, it luring in sellers here, unless this is more of that, where this is just building up tons of liquidity over here so that this can rally. I mean, that's a possibility, I guess. Yeah, I mean, we might just get away with it. Yeah, I mean, not quite equal lows on NQ. Here we're looking at micros. So we'll see. Also, one thing that I want to add is sometimes the chart or you get some spikes with micro that you won't see with a mini chart. So just be mindful. Sometimes having a few more points of space does make a pretty big difference. Sometimes you'll see these like wick, and then it doesn't do the same thing with minis. At the end of the day, I'm at peace with whatever the outcome of this trade is. If this ends up going, honestly, then that's just, well, I mean, we got very lucky. If it doesn't, then I'm not surprised, because at the end of the day, I think that the actual trade is just this entry model right here. Seeing it take out these highs, I guess that was the capture of the seller's liquidity. Yeah, now we got stopped out. So looking for the re-entry here was assuming that that this was already confirming bullish structure. In reality, I probably should have waited a little longer for this trade. I should have waited to see if we were going to get more demand before we got a pullback into this. That would have given us a better opportunity. But what we do have, on the other hand, though, now that we have more information with this trade, is that we can look for shorts if it makes more sense. So look at how now, if we keep trading down here, so for example, so the first idea, which was this one here, it played out, right? We had the low demand comes back up, and then we see it clear this. So cool, the break and retest cells get taken out there. And then now we're seeing it happen again. So let's say the market again fails to stay down here, comes back up. We may have a similar scenario again soon. But if that doesn't happen and we get more of this, so let's say we keep trading like this, then we can be in the market for sells. If it doesn't happen like that and we see this happen instead, we see again the market, let's say, just comes right back up, do more of this, then again we can have an entry like that. So now we wait. It's that simple. And this came down. Yeah, I mean, cool. So we'll wait on that. I'll pull the trigger on a trade like that if it makes sense. If this goes back up to here. So we have something like this. Yeah, if we come back up, then I won't hesitate. I'll add, if I were to grade myself on this trade right here, I would probably give myself a 4 out of 10, because the real trade was first here, and then the move to the upside, which was the clearance of this high, this would have put this original trade at break even, and then this would have just been a wash. If price would have stayed up here, then a pullback into the imbalance would have been more valid. Since it came up and then right back down, I would say that I was a bit more, I would say it was too hopeful that price is just going to continue rallying and that we were just going to get a quick imbalance fill and continuation, which sometimes it happens, but it wasn't like the immediate entry. It wasn't like the entry. It was more like a secondary entry. So yeah. Definitely a loss that wasn't necessary, I would say. All right, anyways, now here, let's see what what this is going to turn into. Are we going to come back down, or are we going to go back up? In the meantime, look at how silver has been just sideways, super sideways. Market continues to build up retail sellers, and then buys are getting spiked out. I don't think this is the last time we get something like this either. I think we probably push down one more time. And honestly, with silver, we may end up even pushing down to this. We have a huge sell-off here before it rallied. So I wonder if we'll get over here. And the reason I bring that up is because we're looking at gold. Gold has this huge zone that it's going to target at some point soon. Maybe an FOMC situation where we just melt into that zone. So definitely looking at, I'm staying mindful at silver. So I'm going to have another alert here. And then we can zoom in if we want to. We can kind of zoom into what price action was like over here. Because we do see that huge short. So look at that. Look at this right here. Yeah. No, we can definitely play it back into this. This might be where we have a good opportunity. So look at how the market sells off here. Huge dump. Right at New York Open. 10th of July. From there, let's see what happens. We don't come back to here. Ooh, this looks nice. I like this. Oh yeah. This is good. So could we clear here? Maybe play out of the zone? Yeah, maybe. This right here is like swing trade territory. Pin the lows. Hold this for a while. For sure. All right, so I'm gonna have this set up here. Just some key zones right around this area. Really, this is where I would want to buy, like right around here. All right, so let me go ahead and do this. I'll create the post for today. But yeah, silver looking good. It's today the 29th. All right. Okay, so update on NASDAQ. So we saw it go low again, and then we're seeing how it still doesn't really want to trade down here. So whenever the price gets below basically 23.75, it comes right back up. Dips down again, and it comes right back up. So looking at the difference in price action between NASDAQ and Dow, here we go. So we saw Dow drop below these lows. We saw it drop clear these areas. Okay. Dow basically creates more liquidity here. So that's something worth noticing. Meanwhile, NASDAQ gets low again, comes right back up. So we're seeing not too much demand below 23.70, 75-ish. Is the trade that we were really looking for this one, where Dow cleared the low, came right back up, and then now dipped under to then rally? It looks okay, but this liquidity here, I mean, I still wouldn't have really gone for the buys. So not really convinced on buying NASDAQ. And then if there was going to be a play here, looks like Dow kind of gave the setup that we would have, I guess, really wanted, which was sweeps the lows immediately comes back up. So there's not really any demand below 44,960. It trades up here for quite some time, and then it just dropped back down into where we didn't have that much demand briefly, and then now is pushing right back up. So we'll see. Taking small time frame positions right now with indices, don't have the best layout at the moment, so I'm okay with kind of just being an observer with the market right now. Yeah, that's fine with me. Nasdaq, despite it going below and then coming right back up, I'm not fully convinced on this for buys yet. I want to see more. I want to see the market trade higher for longer. Going back to silver. Silver, I mean, it cleared the lows, came back up, traded here for a good amount of time, came back down, basically rebalanced. So if you're taking these type of trades, yeah, I mean, silver just kind of gave an entry. Because we're seeing so much liquidity with gold, that's why I'm not really looking to trade small time frame metals at the moment. Going into crypto. Bitcoin with New York Open and the dollar news event just traded down into the imbalance it made here around 117,990, like right into this range. Seeing a little bit of a bounce at the moment. I don't think we're quite done. We still have the huge sell-off that happened when price dropped into 116,300. So this, I guess, if you don't want to get caught up too much in like the intraday stuff and you want to trade on the outsides, I'd say just keep waiting for it to get to this side of things before making any decisions. Update with NAS. NAS looks like it's starting to really confirm more on the bearish side. More on the lower lows here. So we may just have the chance to short this later. Here we see that last push to the upside. Right there. Right here. This is right off of New York, a couple minutes after New York Open, chops up, and then we get one last push right here before it drops. So this is where the sell looks like it's going to become more and more promising over here. So this is going to be my setup so far. But I want to see the market trade down here just for longer. I want this lower low to really lock in. And then in regards to Dow, there's liquidity over here as well. I'm not in love with buying anything here. You know, like, yeah, we're starting to see some signs, but with all the liquidity that's trading down there, the market could easily just dump down. And just, remember, you don't have to be in the market all the time. Like, there are opportunities. It doesn't have to be on the timeline that you necessarily wanted it to be. So give it time. Especially when you lose a trade, some of the first things you want to do is, all right, let me make it back. Because you want to get that feeling out. You want to, like, oh no, like, I don't want to, this feeling of loss or feeling of being a loser, or I don't know, like, you're just wrong. Like, it's okay. The next quality setup, just let it give you, like, let the next quality setup appear.
If you did things right and you lost the way you're supposed to, perfect. I'd say for me, the loss that we had, or that at least that I had on NQ, it could have been avoided. Like it could have been avoided. So, is that a little frustrating? Sure. Is losing a couple grand on that frustrating? Yeah, that was avoidable. But you don't want to fill or correct in a way, right, the mistake with another one. So yeah, just give it time. What time is it? 9:20. Yeah, there's really not much for me to cover on the just day trading side of things in terms of live market analysis. What I do want to go over now is just a little bit on crypto side. You can see a lot of coins are down. So if you want to look at things from a investor's perspective, then here is my take on the market right now. So from an investor standpoint, I think that you're going to continue to get discounts just in general, whether it's with altcoins, Bitcoin in general. Yeah, there's a good chance we're going to keep pushing further down. If you look at, for example, when we saw the market dip down here and these are market caps, so it shows just the entire crypto market in general. We saw Bitcoin dip down and then just immediately just come right back up. So there wasn't too much demand at those lower prices. It does go higher, and then we basically see equal highs with just a total crypto space, and then come right back down again. Come up and then come right back down again. So do we still have distribution across the board? Yeah, guys, I do think that we're going to see crypto honestly probably bleed for a bit. Wouldn't be totally surprised if we see the market come back down to these mid-July, earlier July levels. So just be ready, whether you want to sell and then buy more, or whether you're just accumulating more. Yeah, it's really your call. But I wouldn't be shocked if we see the overall market drop 15, 20%. Yeah, I just wouldn't be in shock or anything. So I'd say seeing the overall market drop 10, 12%, maybe even more, before we continue to rally. Yeah, it looks like distribution to me. Is the bull run over? Nah, I wouldn't say all that, but I would just say it's just normal distributions is kind of what I'm expecting here. That's just looking at crypto market cap. Looking at Bitcoin, I don't think Bitcoin will take too aggressive of a hit. Probably, I'd say maybe back down to 112. But yeah, I mean, these are just normal movements. This is how things go. It goes up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. For my crypto people, and if you're looking at Bitcoin dominance and all this good stuff, I think Bitcoin dominance also, we see the retracement back up for a bit before we continue back down. So don't be surprised if we see Bitcoin start to dominate a bit more up into this range again. But what we are seeing is that I do think we're bearish now officially on the daily time frame with Bitcoin dominance. We've been below the previous low for 10 days. So when we see pullbacks with Bitcoin dominance, it's only going to come back down again. So yeah, it makes sense in my opinion here. So, well, I think we see crypto drop in price, but I think it's just basically setting up for, I guess, accumulation of more alts. And with that being said, if we're going to see, for example, if NASDAQ here is starting to present distribution on a 15-minute time frame. Could this be the beginning of a short, of a long-term short? Maybe. Yeah, I mean, it could be. Short term is what it feels like, though. Like, we might play into just the lows from yesterday. That may be all we see. So let's give it some time. Let's see if we do break below here, and then we stay bearish here. Then we're starting a shift in the 1 hour and etc. So for now, let's see. We don't necessarily, not the first 5-minute break of structure doesn't mean that this is the high or anything like that. That's kind of jumping to conclusions. But if we keep breaking lows, then that could be the case. So now we wait. Now we wait for a little more detail. See where it all goes. Cool. All right, guys. Well, we'll leave it there. Any updates I have, if I end up shorting or longing anything, I'll go ahead and I'll share it here in the community. You guys have the link to the community. If you're not in there already, then you guys have that there. So let me go ahead and make sure you guys are logged in. I totally forgot about the chat. Yeah, I didn't once look at this thing. Apex or Top Step. Pros and cons to both. I guess it doesn't really matter. Bro, are you on the curve monitor? Yeah, I am. Take profits on XRP or let it ride? I'd say it just depends on your. Let me pull it up. I already took profits on XRP, so I sold. Yeah, I would. I mean, that's what I did. If you like the project long term, then I feel like you'll probably get an entry anywhere below 265. I'm sure you'll get it again. So, but that's just what I did. This is something that, I mean, once the market squeezes like this for a long time and it expands, and it, we got from 225 to 350. So nice little 50% bag. But you got to know who you are. Are you a trader with crypto in your portfolio? Are you an investor? Are you what is your plan just overall? And then you have to be okay with either missing out on way bigger pumps, or you might miss out on getting in again. And then you have to sit with that liquidity. So have plans beforehand so that you're not making emotional decisions in general. I think we're going to get just, normal pullbacks. I think that's what we're going to get. So, and then you can, for example, if you take profits now with 312 and then the market starts to dump, let's just assume that's the case. And then you can start reintroducing some of your capital back in at, 260, 250, 240, 230. And all of that is at much better entries. You're getting better entries than you would have beforehand. Because one of the things that I've noticed, should I sell my cat for dog? Duh. Yeah, why would you have a cat when you can have dog? Right. Come on. What is this logic? So one of the things that I've seen often is this. People go, I'll give you an example actually. Let's say you bought XRP throughout the 3 or 4 years that it was ranging at 30 to 60 cents. And so let's say you bought it then. You go, oh, well, I have XRP from 50 cents. And it pumps like it did here. All right, it pumped all the way up to 280. So let's say you took your profit at 275. You just had an epic exit. Or here's where you wanted to. So I'm just going to give you an example, because I think people think interesting. So let's say you bought $10,000 of XRP at, this is math for investors, so this will be very easy, at 50 cents. Okay. Then the market went up to, let's just say 250. We'll make it easy, right? 250. So it 5x'd. So now, okay, so 10,000, and I'll make it actually really easy. So $10,000 of XRP at 50 cents. That's the equivalent of having 20,000 XRP. Okay. So now let's say you have $50,000 of XRP at 250. You still have 20,000 XRP. Okay. And then you sell. All right. Now you're sitting on 50,000 USD. Because of course it has to be US dollars, because America is the only thing that exists. So cool, you have 50,000. At this time, people don't like selling because they go, well, but I got my XRP so cheap. I got mine so low. Why would I sell if now, next time I buy, well, I'm going to have to buy at $2. I'm not going to get the same entries as I had over here. You're right. You're not going to get the same entries, but remember, it's about how many tokens will you get. So you had 20,000 XRP at $2.50. So let's say, okay, you wait for $2 XRP to buy. Okay. And then the market, you really don't even wait for that long. The market, let's say, takes a few days, takes a week, and then it gets back to $2. Okay, great. So now you're not getting 50 cent XRP. You're not. You're getting $2 XRP. But what is this? But now look at what happens. Remember, you have $50,000 you're working with. So now you go on 50,000, right? 50,000 of XRP at $2. What does this equal? This is the big part. This is the most important part. How much XRP are you now going to have? Now you have 25,000 XRP. One XRP at $2, you have 50,000. So now you have more XRP. So let's say the market goes back to 250. What is your XRP worth? You have 25,000 and it's at 250. So if you do the math, and this is very simple math, you just take 25,000 times 2.5, and now you have your portfolio is worth 62,500 of XRP at $2.50 because you still have 25,000 XRP. This is the difference. So when people go, well, I'm going to lose out on the cheap XRP that I got. Not really, because you have more tokens now. So this is the equivalent. Like, look, you have more money than you did before. So now, if you go back, you can think back. You're like, well, 25. Like, this is the equivalent of you getting it. Like, your 10,000. Imagine this was $10,000 again. You would have gotten your average entry now is even better based on those 10,000. So, does that make sense? I don't know if anybody learned anything here, but just so you guys are understanding this long term, like it's the same thing here. And this is though this kind of plan is more if you are kind of trading with crypto, not even trading with like with margin, but you're more active with your portfolio. So we'll take a real-time example. Let's say you bought in at $2 here, right? And then now the market's at, we'll just say 3. So we'll change this one. So if it goes from 2, because you have 25,000 XRP, to $3. So let's just change this example here. At $3, because you still have this amount of XRP, what happens? So you have 25,000 XRP at $3. That means you have 75K worth of XRP. 75,000 right there. Okay, let's say you sell. All right, now you have 75,000 USD. And your plan is, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for the market to dump. And then once the market is at 250, I'm going to get in again. So plan. Buy again at 250. Okay. Again, there's a couple of things that are happening. You are, one, assuming you're going to get that price. You might not. Worst case, you're sitting on 75K. Best case, you get your entry again. Another thing is that money can be invested somewhere else. So your options do open up. So let's say you get that. All right. So now you're sitting at 75K with 75,000. And now the cost of an XRP is 250. 75,000 divided by 250. Okay, now you get 30,000 XRP. So now you have 75,000 of XRP at 250. And you have many more XRP. Okay. Then we have to decide an exit strategy again. Maybe you go, you know what? What if it tops out over here? What if this is all we're ever going to get? So I'm going to take my profit at $3 again, or $3.25 or $3.50, or maybe I'm just going to hold this for higher highs. Whatever, right? You just let it roll. So you have 30,000 XRP. So let's say your profit here is at, let's say you just want to play at $3. Maybe you think, you know what, maybe this is it. It's over. Let me just catch it back at 3. Okay, so plan. Sell at $3. All right, so let's say that's the case. Remember, you have 30,000 XRP. So 30,000 XRP at $3 equals $90,000. And that's how you took 10,000 to 90,000. Of course, the biggest move was this here, obviously. And then, but once you had 50 here, basically within a consolidation, you took it from 50 to 90, just kind of trading the lows and the highs. Now, of course, if you're doing that, can you miss out on massive breakouts? For sure. And then if it comes down to 250, can this go lower? Trade back down to 225. Can it go even lower? Absolutely. So it just kind of depends on your strategy and where you think you are in the cycle overall. I think we have quite a bit to go in the cycle, and this is just doing this with XRP. When you have other types of investments, like for example, with dog, right? Here, so let me go back to XRP real quick. Let's take this little example here. And then let's say you applied it to a different currency or a different crypto. It's a similar approach. However, you need to decide you need to be aware of, like, what kind of investment am I in? Am I in something that's going to be exponential? So if you're always trading it with the pump and like, you can miss some of the moves. So for example, let's say you would have bought in November and you bought at 004. Then the market pumped up to 008. It doubles. You're like, all right, let me take my profits. But when it comes back down to here, I'm gonna get in again at 004, 00455. I'm gonna get in. So the market might go and it make higher highs, and you're like, oh no, it's up without me. You might miss out on that. But you want to be patient. You want to wait for your levels. You don't want to have that FOMO. You can either use that money and invest it somewhere else. If the markets are skyrocketing, a lot of times, if everything's moving together, then, don't chase. If you have one thing making absolute crazy movement and everything else isn't, that's fine. So then you would have waited, and then you would have set in some drawdown. And also, you want to keep in mind, how much capital am I able to deploy consistently, how much of my portfolio is at risk here, etc. So just a couple things to keep in mind. With something like this one, for example, the market cap with Dog is nowhere near XRP, right? XRP, we're talking about tens and tens and tens and tens of billion in market cap. This has 330 million market cap. So this can just have these kind of crazy moments. A smaller one like this, I don't really trade up and down. Not with the tokens. If you want to trade it like trading with margin or whatever, sure. But with just buying and selling tokens, I don't really do that as much. I just kind of just accumulate. So, yeah. But anyways, you want to have your own strategy, your own perspective with how you go about it. That way it's just easier to follow along. But yeah, to give you guys just another perspective so far with just indices before I wrap up for now. Dow bleeding out, taking out the lows. So that's exactly what I ended up doing, right? Clearing liquidity. And meanwhile, we're seeing NASDAQ still holding up okay. So yeah, we're getting some spikes. Got below the London session lows now. Traded into, as you guys can see, we traded into somewhere during the Asian session. And now we're starting to see a bit more of the sweeps liquidity, creating demand. Maybe we see the dip below and then the rally this time around. We're still seeing lower lows. So overall, we might, if we keep trading down here, this will still be worth it. I'll keep you guys in the loop. Let me go ahead and open the chat here and go from there. Thank you. It all makes sense. Dow finally took the lows. Good explanation. Thank you for this breakdown. Yeah, got you guys. Cool. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. And any questions? I have a video coming out in an hour and 15 minutes. So check it out. It's a trading psychology Q&A. It's a replay of that one, just with a bit more edits, a bit more fancy there. But yep, see you guys. We'll be live again here tomorrow as well. Tomorrow we have a lot going on. So I'll see you guys on the stream tomorrow. Peace out, guys.